Alright, so I'm back for another video, and that is going to be my wrap up for the month of February. In this month I read a total of 11 books. I'm excited that I read the exact same amount that I did in the previous month. So for this year so far I've read a total of 22 books. It's pretty good. So it's good. I'm going pretty good, and I'm 6 books ahead on my Goodreads challenge, so I'm going pretty good. But anyway, let's get on with the books that I read. So the first book that I read was Sinner by Maggie Stiefvater, and I read this just so I could finish off that series, so I don't have to, I can go back to it, but I know it's finished, it's complete, I don't have to worry about it. But I really enjoyed this book. I liked seeing Cole's perspective, and I really enjoy Cole as a character, and I also enjoyed Isabel, and they have a sexual tension that Sam and Grace never had. So it was fun to read the developing romance of them in the other series, even though they wasn't the main focus, but it was fun little elements to have in the background. So to have a book solely based on them was great. Even though it's quite tiny, I had fun reading this, and a lot of good things happened, and it was fun, so good book. The next book that I read was The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, and I read this because I was thinking the movie would be coming to my cinema and I had to finish it before it came out, but it never came to my cinema, which is upsetting me. So I pretty much read this book for nothing, but I'm okay with that because I really enjoyed the story. It's really well written and all the characters were great, and if you want to hear more of my thoughts, I will link my book review down below, because if I start talking about this book I probably won't stop. But I enjoyed it. It was a really good read, really fun. The next 2 books that I read were Evernight and Stargazer by Claudia Gray. These are the first 2 books in her Evernight series, and there's 3 more to go, and I will have to buy them at some point or another. But I really enjoyed the first 2. The first one was a bit kind of set in the story, but it was still a bit meh. But the second book really got it running, and so many things are happening in this book, and I really love Bianca and Lucas. They're a great couple, and things just with them are amazing, and I love it so much. And just I can't wait to get the rest of this series, and I hope I actually read it soon. It should be read soon, hopefully. So again, good books. The next book that I read is Until Friday Night by Abby Glynns, and I actually really enjoyed this, even though it was really sad what happened to these 2 main characters as separate things. The book was really good at developing character storylines and relationships, and the relationship between Maggie and Wes was just beautifully written and made and just evolved out of so much stuff that was really interesting, and I had so much fun reading this. It was just so enjoyable. Made me feel really sad, but enjoyable. The next book that I read was Wake by Amanda Hocking. I really liked her other series, the Trill series, so I wanted to read some more of Amanda Hocking's books. So I have I own all the books of this series, but I just never got to reading it. I bought them 3 years ago, and I only just recently got the 4th one for Christmas. And when I got the 4th one, I was just thinking, you know what, I need to read this. And then this readathon was coming up, and I was like, I'll use this for Blue in the Rainbow-thon. So of course I had this to read, which is really good, and I really liked it, and I just don't know why I haven't read it before, but now I have another series that I need to complete, so I'm very excited to be able to finish this series at some point. But the first book was really good. The next book that I read was Almost Dead by Kaz Delaney. I enjoyed this so much because it's teen fiction, it's a pretty much contemporary novel. It's just there's ghosts in it. It's written like a contemporary novel, and there was some thrilling aspects in it of a stalker and stuff like that, but it was very teenage angsty, and it was a good read, and it was actually it was more than I expected, I think, so it was really good. When I was reading it, it was just, it looked so massive, and I was just thinking, oh, there's going to be a lot of boy trouble going on, and there was, but it was just a really good read, and it was fun, and I liked Finn. Finn is my bae. Love him so much. And I read the first book, Dead Actually, which was also really good, and it links the characters together, so yeah, really good book, and I enjoyed it a lot. The next book that I read was After Moonrise by P.C. Castaneda-Showalter, and I do feel bad to say that I didn't really like this book. It's 2 separate books that actually relate to each other, and it's this ghost, this ghost agency that helps dead people talk to their relatives, or find and stop a ghost from haunting them, or just stuff like that. But what really made this book a less to me just was how much it was like sort of erotica. Like, I mean, it was just like people would just meet and then they'd be already having sex and it'd be in the weirdest way and just sexual things were happening, and there wasn't much development in these two books because it's this big for like 2 books and the first one was only like this big. So I just, yeah, and the characters, like I liked the characters and sometimes they would say funny things, but I just couldn't get into it enough to really like it. I only gave it 2 stars on Goodreads, but oh well, I can't like everything I read. The next book that I read was The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey, so I continued on with the series. Now I just have to wait until the 5th star, which is going to be so annoying because it's left on a bit of a cliffhanger. But I really like this book, even though it is quite smaller than the other one. I'm excited. I really enjoyed it, and a lot of new things were learnt in this book and a lot of useful things at that as well. So I'm excited for more in this series, and I think the next book, hopefully the next book sums it up really well, because this series needs a good summing up of like a victory or something, just something summed up. But I really enjoyed it, and good read. The next book that I read was Ghost House by Alexandria Antoinetto. This book was actually so great. I loved the ghost in it. What is his name? Alexander Reed. I love that. Alexander. She's naming her character practically after herself. But I really enjoyed this story, and he's like the ghost in this was just amazing. Sahat. And he was like 157, so he was like a gentleman. He lived in the past, and I really enjoyed that in the book. And just, yeah, I love the story and the main character. I'm really bad at names today. Chloe, she was really, like, she was a good lead and she was strong and she could talk to ghosts. And there was this other lady, Isabel, who was like this crazy ghost that didn't want her love from the past, Alexander, to fall in love with anyone else. So there was a lot of like people getting hurt and mysterious stuff going on, but it was really interesting. And the book ended with such a plot twist, and I just need a new book, and I don't even know if it's been written and it's not published. I don't know when it's coming out, but this needs its next book. Last Hour better come out soon. I hope it does. And the last book that I read for the month was The 100 by Cass Morgan. I actually really enjoyed this. Like, I thought I would enjoy it because I really love the TV show, but as I was reading the book, I was finding out things that weren't in the TV show that were in the book and vice versa. And like, seriously, I'm seeing these as 2 different things, and that's fine because I like what's happening in the book and I like what happens in the TV show. So they're both written really well, and I really want to get the rest of the 100 because I think that is the good plan. That's the good plan, to get the rest of the 100 so I can keep reading, which will be good. And as you can see, I read the 2 TBR books that I wanted to read for the month, which I'm happy about. I think I did good. Hopefully I will be okay for the next month with this challenge. So these are the books that I read in the month. It's another big stack. I just wish I didn't buy as big as stacks because I bought 2 stacks and I've only read 1 stack. So I hope I do better. I'd also like to show you guys something fun that I got. It is Valentine's Day themed, but I'm not using it for Valentine's Day, but it's this chalkboard that I got, which I thought was cute, and it's in a love heart. But what I've been doing with it, if you can see, is I've been making a tally of all the books I read in a month, and then making a tally of all the books I buy in a month to see if the reading ever is more than the books I buy. This month I failed badly. Like, I bought 21 books in the month and I only read 11. So I hope I can finally make this work. So I'll be wiping this away and starting afresh next month. But I'm going to keep a tally of all my numbers, and hopefully one month I will buy nothing and read a lot. So I hope that happens eventually. But now let's get to the part of the video you've probably all been waiting for, and that is the 2 books that I will try and read this month. Make sure this is shaken good. Okay, let's pick I will pick this one. I have like 3 happening here. Pick this one, and let me find one on the bottom. And this one. Let's see what books I'm going to try and read this month. So the first book is The Dressmaker by Rosalie Ham. Excited for this book. I think it's going to be great. And the second one is Legend by Marie Lu. these are two great books to read, so I'm very excited about this. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you soon, and I hope it is soon, because tomorrow I'm going to be just dying with the wisdom teeth coming out. But anyway, I will see you soon, and I hope I'm fine. So anyway, guys.